We're live.
Welcome to the Lost Together podcast. I'm Joe, and this is my attempt to convince my wife, Morgan, that Lost is one of the greatest television shows. I'm hearing the sigh before I even start with this. So
Here we go.
one of the best TV shows ever.
Oh, wow. That's it?
That's what I typically say.
No.
At least some version of that.
Some version
of that. So, yeah, here we are, and tonight we are discussing Season 2, Episode 4, entitled Everybody Hates Hugo, which is the 29th episode overall, and originally aired on October 12th, 2005, when I was struggling mightily in my freshman year of college to keep up with homework and a bunch of classes that I didn't care about, including a 30-page paper due in my intro to New Testament class. So, it's not a class that you need for my degree.
No. I mean, it's a fine work of literature.
I would also like to apologize on the front end for a couple of things everybody's going to experience tonight. There is absolutely no way around it. First of all, my Christmas sweater, which I wore to work today, it was like an ugly Christmas sweater contest type thing, so just stuck it over a polo, which I would typically wear. So sorry for that. I'm sorry that I will have something in my mouth for most of the episode. That'll be a cough drop because I'm recovering from what the doctor called it, pharyngitis, which I've never heard of.
Also, I think this is our second or third time recording the show, and one or both of us is ill in some way.
Yes.
But of course, all that audio is lost to time or whatever, so nobody else had to experience it. But there were a couple episodes. It was that the whole time. Me, him. It was terrible.
I really don't know what to tell you because, I'm not doing it on purpose. I didn't,
I mean, we could wait to do this.
The people need their fix. And by the people, I mean Greg mostly, and the people.
No, we have a couple people that always comment and are watching.
Starting to get a nice little following.
I know, it's really cool.
We really appreciate
any
person that takes the time to listen to / watch this, right? Yeah. So, we don't have clips. We don't have pictures of anybody because I don't know how licensing works, and I'm not sure whether it's okay. I actually had a discussion at work today. So one of the things that I do at my job is we make little media, like internal media, and we're making a video today. And one of the guys that was producing the video was like, "Can we put Jingle Bell Rock in the background? Is it public domain? Because some songs, after a certain amount of time, are public domain." Mm-hmm. He was like, "Is it public domain?" I said, "I have no idea. Let's take a look." Apparently, it's not.
I'm sure you could Google that.
I did. I Googled it. Yeah. It's not public domain yet.
Really?
Nope.
That's an old... I mean, I guess Happy Birthday would be a song that's public domain because it was written in 1500 or whatever.
And so Jingle Bell Rock is from the 50s. And apparently...
Not that long ago. Lots of crazy stuff happened in the 50s. Not that long ago.
Yeah, but songs that you can, like Hark the Herald Angels Sing, it's all very old, religious Christmas music.
Wonder that are public domain?
Yeah.
Wonder if that's because of them being religious songs.
They were just written a very long time ago. So copyright law is down to how long ago it was copywritten. And so because it's past a certain date, anybody can use it. So anyway, now you know a little bit about copywriting. And also, I'm feeling a lot better today than I was earlier in the week. Otherwise, we might have done this earlier in the week and had another episode. But now I'm down to a ridiculous cough that's just going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm so sorry. Now that we're doing video, the editing's going to look really choppy if I try to cut.
You're not going to cut it. We've not edited a single video. I don't think this is... you guys are getting raw, unfiltered, just straight up me and him.
I actually feel like it's... I've listened to it. There are a lot less ums, and maybe it's because you're looking at your own face here. I'm literally doing one right there. I feel like it's a little cleaner.
Maybe. Who knows?
Albeit a little more loosey-goosey because... Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you were going to talk about this, but apologize for the dryer, if you guys can hear that. I feel like the little volume thing is moving. I don't know. Anyway, if you can hear the dryer, sorry about that. But
yeah, we
got to have clean clothes.
We do have to have clean clothes. So yeah, that is our apology for everything that we might have to apologize for.
5 minutes into this, and we've not even started talking about this episode called "Everybody Hates Hugo."
I think half of why people are here is the talent, less than the stuff that we're talking about. So
I was shocked at the title of this episode because literally nobody hates Hugo.
Well,
we love that baby.
You say that, right?
He's a good boy.
Yeah, well, he is a good boy.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there is a reason why this episode is entitled "Everybody Hates Hugo." So
yeah,
let's get to it. So again, this was overall. What'd you think about the episode? Just kind of a
I
general.
liked it. I love a Hurley episode just because I like him, and it was I like episodes that give me depth into the characters that like makes me feel bad for them, like the John Locke episodes.
Every John Locke episode.
It's so good. But this Hurley's kind of story, like I already like him because he's such a sweet boy. But now I feel bad for him because he's a sweet boy who happened into an incredible circumstance. And he got, as he would, I would assume that if anybody were to win the lottery, they would experience like kind of the same deal that Hurley is dealing with.
Yeah.
So, bless him. He's just so nice.
He is. He's very nice. So, let's just go ahead and get straight into the recap. Mm-hmm. And then we will go from there. Yeah,
so we watched this episode apparently on December 4th. So there's been some days. And I've not looked at these notes since I took them. So I opened this before we started filming, and I looked, and he was like, "What's going on?"
No.
And I was like, "My notes don't make sense."
It can't be December 4th. I think you probably started that note and then maybe deleted some of it and refilled it with stuff here because we watched this last Friday.
This says December 4th at 9:50.
I know it says that. I think it's inaccurate.
I mean, call Steve Jobs or whoever took his place.
Steve Jobs is dead.
Dig him up.
Can't call him.
Whatever. Anyway, we watched this, some time ago. So I opened my phone and I was like, these notes don't make sense because the very first line that I wrote is Hurley has a sexual experience in the pantry. And then he was like, oh yeah, because he went into the pantry and saw all the food. And I was like, oh yeah. And then I started reading the rest of my notes. So we open with Hurley literally being in the pantry, and the only thing that would have made it sexier would be if he, oiled himself up and made out with the candy bars.
Careless Whisper playing in the background.
Yeah.
Don't.
Oh, copyright.
We can mention Careless Whisper, but we cannot play Careless Whisper or sing Careless Whisper.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. Please don't sue us.
Who sings that?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on. It's the same guy that sings Wake Me Up Before You Go Go.
It's not Wham.
It's George Michael.
Careless Whisper?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway.
Look, I'm going to look it up. Yep. See? No. Don't do it. We don't do that. We're not paying licensing fees. They're like hundreds of dollars for licensing.
Yes. Anyway, so Hurley's like eating candy bars like he's having a time. And then Jen walks in and goes, "Hi, Hurley," in perfect English. So I was like, what? I said, I knew it. I knew he could speak English. How does your daddy-in-law work for the mob and you don't speak English? Also, like, all the other countries learn other languages. It's our dumbass kids that aren't learning other languages.
Yes.
Lots of other countries know their language and English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you're going to have to do business with Americans at some point, and they're really stupid. And they don't know anything but English.
Yeah, so. Like, you better learn how to talk to them or we're not going to have a deal. So, I was like, like I knew it. And then Hurley turns around and there's a guy in a chicken suit and he says, "Have a clicker cluck cluck day." And so then I was like, what is happening? So then we find out that Hurley was asleep and he fell asleep on the keyboard. So obviously he was waiting to put in the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate wakes him up and she's like, "I'm just so glad that we're here and like we have these jobs and whatever." The next note is even Sawyer is being able to understand Jen. Because I think at this point Sawyer, Michael, and Jen are in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Is the little Hispanic lady, I don't think I wrote her name down.
Ana Lucia.
Is she in the hole with him on this episode? She is. Anna's in the hole with them.
No, that's the last episode. This one they're walking through the jungle. Because they end up somewhere, honey.
Yeah, but it looks like, based on my notes, Anna's like, y'all need to come on out of the hole. Okay. And Sawyer is, of course, being obstinate, and he and Jen, like Jen is speaking Korean, and Sawyer's like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go." Like he is acting like he's understanding. So, and Michael, we already know that Michael has picked up some Korean words because he and Jen were having like semi conversations, and then of course Jen was saying like boat, others. Like, he's picking up English, too. So, cool. We're breaking language barriers. I love that for our team. And Anna is like, y'all need to come up out of this hole or I'm going to shoot your friend. And she's got the gun pointed at Sawyer. And so, Jen and Michael are like, okay, we'll come. And Sawyer's like, she's lying. And so, she doesn't shoot him, but she nails him with a rock. Just, I mean, like Babe Ruth, like, just immediately.
I remember the first time watching through this series that I was so happy to see somebody not put up with his bullshit.
Yeah, I was like she is not having that shit at all.
She's telling him to shut up. She threw a rock at him.
Boinks him. And then Jen and Michael do come up out of the hole and she's like, "Bye, bitch," and she shuts Sawyer in the hole in the dark after a mild concussion. I was like, "You go, baby. You go." The next note is Hurley's mom is mean. So this is, I guess, the flashback where he's about to find out that he won the lottery, and she's like, she's talking about like, you need to pray to Jesus to lose weight and get a car. What color car do you want? Like, the phone rings and she goes, "Hey, it's Jesus on the phone. What color car do you want?" And that reminded me of my mom a little bit. That seems very my mother. That's a my mom joke.
Yeah.
So I was like, Hurley.
Again, without like getting too deep into the psychology, it was well meant, but like Morgan's mom's whole thing was like, I'm gonna make fun of them hard so they'll be tough.
Yeah.
Right.
Genuinely. She thought I was too soft when I was a child, and so it was her job to toughen me up, and she did that with like ribbon, you know. She's a great mom. My mom is excellent. I love my mom, but that's the kind of stuff that I would get. So I was like, "You baby, like, you know, he's fat and he eats a lot." And she's like, "You need to put down the chicken wings." And
Hugo?
Yeah, Hugo, what are you doing?
We got to limit our accent trial here, I think. But
yeah, yeah, but
Hugo's probably fine.
Hugo, that's what she says. Hugo.
Yeah, Hugo.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry if that is offensive. I'm not trying to be offensive.
No.
I don't even know. My next note is Hurley tells Charlie that the hatch is a bunker. Charlie's all over Hurley's ass ever since Hurley told him, like, I'm worth $18 million or whatever it is.
Well, he's all over Hurley because they were tight, and like clearly Hurley's kind of being taken in a little bit by like,
he's now with the man.
Yeah,
the man
he's
is
with
in like
he's with
Jack.
He's with
Locke.
management.
Yes. I think this is this episode where Charlie's like, "What happened to you, man? Like, what? You used to be one of us." So, Charlie. My next note is Charlie will not believe Hurley about the monkeys. What monkeys? Is that a typo?
Yeah, it must be.
I think I was probably... The money. I was trying to say the money. Do you know how hard it is to be watching this show and taking these notes so fervently? It's quick. I make typos, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I guess Hurley must have told Charlie again, like, dude, like, I won the lottery. And Charlie's like, why are you lying?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Charlie, part of that is just because Charlie's jealous because he's such an insufferable little shit. Nobody that is...
That baby wants to fit in just like Hurley does, except Hurley is not as desperate. Charlie is desperate.
Right. Charlie's a little pick-me. And,
he is. He is a pick-me.
And Hurley is not. Hurley is just himself, which is why he is liked. Mm-hmm. You know, that, like, be yourself advice that you get from your parents is not because you're awesome and people will probably like that. It's because when you're yourself... all of your friends are like really your friends.
Well, yeah.
And people know who you really are and they trust you. So like, go ahead and be yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, people will trust you. When people trust you, they want to be around you. And that's what happened with Hurley. Even though he's like whining and complaining this whole episode about having the easiest job in the bunker, you know.
Well, it's not the easiest job in the bunker. And I get it. I understand.
You do.
Yeah, I deeply understand and empathize with why Hurley would have, like, trouble with his job, which was to, like, guard the food and the supplies and stuff. And, like, it was his job to go through and take an inventory and do, like, figure out how to ration it.
Right.
So he goes back to the beach and he finds Rose. And Rose is doing laundry. And he walks up and I can't even remember what the kind of conversation was there, but anyway, she's like, baby, this laundry's not going to do itself. And then he goes, yeah, it will. Come with me. And he takes her to the hatch. And then Locke is like, dude, we're not supposed to tell anybody about this. But he brings her down there so that she can help him inventory all the food and stuff. And of course, she has a similar reaction to literally everybody else that's been in there. You know, just like shock and awe. There's like food, actual food, pickles, chocolate, condiments.
So much mayonnaise.
They've been eating sand and fish and, you know, seawater for days, or months, a month,
weeks.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
So, so Hurley takes her down there. He trusts her, so he's like, "Hey, like, I need your help. Can you help me with this?" And she's like, "Oh my god." And you know what I thought about? Kate took candy bars out of there, and she's the only person that has taken anything out of there.
And the shampoo.
Oh, I've not gotten there yet. Again, I don't like Kate. Like, good for you, you're pretty, but like, you don't get to just be a little slimy little meatball and just do whatever. Because Hurley's job is to monitor and protect that pantry. And like literally Jack walks in and goes like, "Hey Hurley, this is your job. Don't let anybody take anything." Guess who saunters her slimy little ass in like immediately? And she's like, "Oh, is that shampoo?" "Thanks, Hurley." And she takes a whole bottle, and Hurley is so nice. He's like, "Oh, wait, no." And she walks out with that shampoo. And she goes to take a real shower, which, like, you would. Because, like, how are they taking showers? You know, they're using bamboo leaves to wipe their butt cracks and stuff. Like, they're probably stinky. I get it. I love a good shower. But she broke the rules. And she made Hurley the bad guy. And then he has, like, a total mental breakdown. Because he's like, everybody's going to hate me. Because I have to be the one that is telling everybody no. You know, here's all this literal mecca of the comfort of the Western world. You can look at it, but you can't have it. Because I'm in charge. I wouldn't want that job either.
Well, but in fairness, not many people on the island know.
Not yet. He's filtering them in like, you know, he brought Rose, Jack, Locke, Kate. Mm-hmm. Friggin' skeezer. Claire finds the wine bottle with all the messages in it. She gives it to Son, and she goes like,
sorry, your husband's probably dead, basically.
Yeah, but like, what a leap, like that could have just fallen off the boat. What a leap to immediately go like, oh, this is evidence of a shipwreck. It's a freaking wine bottle. It's not like a piece of the boat, which, obviously they did have a shipwreck, but they don't know that. So, Son has like an impromptu burial of everybody's messages and hopes and dreams, and Jen, metaphorically, buries it in the sand. It's very solemn and somber and sad. Rose is still insisting that, is it Walter, her husband?
No, Bernard.
Bernard's fine. Don't worry about Bernard. He's good. And Hurley's like, he was in the tail of the plane. She's like, yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. My note says, Kate is so hot that she takes a bottle of shampoo and Hurley isn't assertive. And he says that that's where it starts. And that's when he has his breakdown of like, everybody's going to hate me. Everybody's going to hate me. And then we go back to Hurley's shitty little chicken job that he has.
Yep.
Guess who's the boss? Randy.
That weasel-faced little shit from Locke's.
That skis-ball from Locke's job. Yeah, the friggin' bully. The dude that's bullying the man in the wheelchair. This is a big man. He sucks. I freaking hate Randy.
At least he didn't have the goatee this time.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. When you're ugly on the inside, you're ugly on the outside. Facial hair or no facial hair. So, yuck. Yeah, so he's like giving Hurley a hard time. And Hurley's like, dude, I quit. So he walks out.
Over he was eating chicken on the clock. He was like...
Have you ever worked in a restaurant? Everybody eats on the clock. Everybody.
And you know what? Randy is a dick, right? Mm. But Hurley's literally just leaning up against a counter, like in the middle of dinner rush, just chowing down on some chicken.
I don't know.
But he had already won the lottery at that point.
That's true.
So he was like,
Yeah, Randy's just picking on him because he's fat, because that's what Randy does.
Picks on, yeah.
Because Randy is a small man, probably in every sense of the word, and so he's got to be mean. Yeah, he's got to be mean to everybody around him to make himself feel like a big boy.
Not pee-pee jokes.
Mm-hmm. Small pee-pee Randy. We don't like him. Again, my notes are not good. There was so much happening. It's so hard to take these notes. My next note is Anna is a badass.
Yep, Anna.
So she come. I guess they get Sawyer out. She's whipped his ass appropriately that he's gonna listen to her. So they get out, and she's like, follow me and keep it in line, otherwise we're gonna have problems. And he's like, fine. He's like holding his busted up shoulder, and he's like, fine, whatever. So they go.
But he also says, if you ever touch me again, I'll kill you. To Anna. And she just turns around and starts walking. She's like, LOL, dude. Like
Anna's a badass. She's a badass. So they traipse on over to it's like a hidden, it looks like the bunker.
Just shittier.
Yeah, and it's like covered in vines and stuff. And there's a handful of people in there, one of which is Bernard. So I love that. I love that Rose and Bernard have such a beautiful soul string that they can literally feel when the other one is still alive. Except Bernard was like, is Rose okay? So he didn't know, but Rose knew.
Did you catch how many survivors there were in the tail section?
Hold on, the 23 other survivors live at the other end of the hatch, but most are gone.
And how many survivors in the main part?
4? Was there 4?
No, in the main part.
48?
42.
42. Yeah, it's the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, this is a bad set. Didn't you say that lots of people got the numbers tattooed on them?
Oh, yeah.
I would not. I get it, though. It's like people that love Les Mis and they get 24601 tattooed on them.
Not familiar.
Well, you should be. My next note is Hurley had game. So after he wins the lottery, he goes, him and his little buddy, who quits his job at the chicken place with Hurley, and then they go to like that record shop or whatever, and that cute girl.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Is it Starla? I think
Something
it might be.
weird.
I think it might be Starla.
I think because I said
Starla.
like,
yep.
You think I'm less of a man because I come home to Starla
So I
at
go
night?
home to Starla at night.
You're right.
Take a roundhouse kick to the face from wearing these bad boys.
I don't think so.
That's Napoleon Dynamite for anybody that's not.
Yeah, everybody knows. That's a piece of cinematic master. It's
You
a
think I got all this
masterpiece.
from getting my ass kicked by Peter Pan here?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Come here!"
Yeah.
And then kicks Kip's ass.
Grab my arm. My arm.
My other arm. Break the wrist, walk away. Yeah. So good. Anyway, he's smooth.
Well,
because he's bolstered because he's a millionaire.
No. He wanted to ask her before she found out that he was a millionaire.
No, I know that, but he's got the confidence boost.
It's not because of I'm telling you that the reason he did it had nothing to do with, I'm a millionaire now. He wanted to know that she would actually like him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying he quit his job and then walked in there and asked that beautiful girl out because he was on a high because he just became a millionaire. Do you know the kind of crazy shit I would do?
I think there's a real subtle difference between those two things.
I understand what you're saying.
His chain's not hanging low, as it were. He's literally not confident enough to know whether or not she actually likes him if it comes out that he's a millionaire.
Yes. No, I completely get it. I get what you're saying. I'm saying that having that gave him the confidence to approach her.
Gave him a reason to, yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Saeed. Saeed is down there too. So we got Jack, Kate, Hurley, Locke, Saeed, Rose. Mm-hmm. That's a good amount of people to be in this secret bunker where all the damn amenities, the shower, the electricity, all that yummy food, a bed with blankets and pillows, all that stuff. Anyway, Saeed's down there because Jack's little key necklace keeps giving it one of those. So Saeed's down there trying to figure out why the hell that's going on. So he has a sledgehammer and he's beating the walls down and he's like, this is 8 feet of concrete or whatever, which I guess he can tell by smacking on it. That's impressive.
At least 8 feet of concrete, he says. And he smacked, Saeed took not only from where they were up, like in the regular part of the bunker, but then they go
they're in the basement.
They go down in the foundation.
Down in an earlier round.
And then he says, doesn't he mention something about I've only seen this
at Chernobyl.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he said there's a geothermal generator behind the thick concrete. And Jack's like, what? And then Saeed's like, oh yeah, at Chernobyl.
Yeah. Jack's like, yeah, I know what that is.
No, you don't, dipshit. You're a doctor. You're not a freaking... You don't know everything. My next note, what good is a show without a sexy wet person? That must have been when Kate was coming out of the shower. God dang. Simply cannot have a 2000s era show without pajamas, showers, swim scenes.
Yeah, we've seen Kate in all levels of undress.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Please give her some depth. I hope that she gets some damn depth, some real human emotion depth. I want to like her. I don't, though.
I think that you'll like her more than you do now at some point, but probably not a lot more.
Whatever. And my last note is the 23 other survivors live at the other end of the hatch, which is, I assume, is the other end of the hatch because Locke and them aren't real sure where it goes. So I'm assuming it's like a tunnel system through the island, and Bernard and them are at one end, and Jack and them are at the other end, And they just don't know that they're connected yet.
8.
Me. Yeah, but most of the people from the tail of the plane are gone. So that's the end of the recap. I hope you enjoyed that.
So we didn't discuss the fact that Hurley's buddy quits the job with him.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, they go on a joyride.
Yeah, they do.
And then they find out at the gas station that.
Yes.
And Buddy is like, bro is betrayed, as we say.
I thought that was a weird scene. I didn't take notes on that because I thought it was stupid. Why are you going to get your feelings hurt?
His feelings are hurt because he is open with Hurley. So he's like, I mean, he's quit his whole job to like.
Hurley did not ask him to do that. Hurley was like, hey, bro, hey, man, I quit. And then dude's like, I quit too. Hurley did not ask him to do that.
No, I know Hurley didn't ask him to do it. But from this guy's perspective, he's like this is upsetting because that guy quit that job because of who he is, not because of who Hurley is. He was like, fuck this place, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Right? Bye. Right? And he didn't feel nothing about it. Just left. He was like, we'll get a job tomorrow or whatever. Like, we'll joyride today, get a job tomorrow.
Yeah, he did say that.
And, we'll get one tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so he quits the job, and then so he is like he's in the like not hiding stuff mode from Hurley.
Okay, so are you obligated to be vulnerable with somebody just because they're vulnerable with you? Maybe that dude is just a loosey-goosey open somebody. It is not Hurley's fault that he won the lottery. It is not Hurley's fault that his friend quit that job. He did not ask him to quit that job. He told him he quit, and the dude was like, let's go.
Yeah, I think I understand your feelings being hurt a little bit, to be honest.
I did not get that. I was like, I would be like, what? Like, my feelings would not be negative of like, I would not feel betrayal.
Buddy, I quit my whole job and ran around with you all day today, and you didn't even think to mention this? Like, who's more loyal to you than me? Like, who has shown you more loyalty than me? And you ain't telling me? You're going to tell me what happened? Why?
Imagine the mental and emotional toll it would take on you if you won the lottery. If you won $1 million, and Hurley won way more than that. If you won $1 million right now, you're telling me that you would tell your like B-list coworkers or whatever?
If I go and quit my job and somebody walks out with me, yeah.
You're going to tell them?
Yes.
Do you know what they're going to say? Give me some money, dude. I just quit my job.
Sorry, did I just win at like a today's equivalent amount?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Well, what
were you making here? Pay him a year's worth or whatever. Thanks for quitting your job. Go find another one. Like,
I don't know.
That is a drop in the bucket at that. How much did Hurley win?
Didn't he say like 18 million?
Let's do it inflation.
I disagree with you completely.
No, you're wrong. That's all right.
You're wrong. I think, and again, like that's what Hurley was like. So just because Hurley was in a situation of good fortune, he's obligated to share that with everybody? Like being over the food. Like, obviously that was the parallel was, he's a millionaire. He has something that literally everybody wants. Millions of dollars. And he's over the pantry. People would literally skin each other for some of that olive oil. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I understand Hurley's hesitation.
Yeah.
You're doing math right now?
Yeah. In 2004, be worth, $114, be worth $189. So if you scale it up, so it'd be like winning $189 million today. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, at a chicken restaurant, if I'm walking out of a chicken restaurant, right, and a guy walks out with me, he's probably making 30, something like that.
I doubt that guy was making $30,000 a year. In 2004?
No, now.
Oh, $30,000 a year,
Yeah.
maybe. What does that break down to? Like
that's like 15.
Yeah, that's minimum wage. Yeah, probably.
It's not minimum wage, but it's the minimum
target
that you'll.
minimum wage.
So, yeah, 30 grand out of 189 million for seeing like what's going on with me. I quit, and he's like, "Fuck you too," right? And then he leaves with me. I'm going to kick him 30, and I'm going to tell him what happened because like that guy just anybody could have left with me. Mm-hmm. He did. Anybody.
So
could've.
what if he hadn't quit? He's your best bud at work, and he didn't quit.
I'd still tell him.
Would you give him $30,000?
No, he's got a job.
So he's got to quit for you to pay
him.
Well,
I know a lot of people, babe. I'm not Hurley.
So then,
Hurley's got one friend.
Okay, so then, if you would tell him either way,
you know that he's being butthurt here because Hurley didn't tell him. You're making up this money thing. His feelings are hurt because Hurley didn't tell him. Just telling somebody is nothing. Yes, I'd tell him.
I'm telling you, if I knew somebody that won that much money,
mm-hmm. You would never ask them for that.
No, but I mean, I would want to know eventually. But that day, like, I would understand.
It's like
you can't tell people. You have to get a lawyer. You have to figure, like, I mean, it's like generational, life-changing situation. You don't just walk around and go like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm worth $118 million, whatever." Like, that's not. You have got to.
Okay, that's a straw man argument.
No,
yes, it is.
I'm not.
Yes, it is.
I'm
yes,
not.
It is. Now, definitionally, that is a straw man.
Let me get through the rest
cool,
of it.
And then I'll explain how it's a straw man.
Okay, I know where you're going with it.
Because it is. You don't, obviously, because you said it.
No, yes, I do.
It's a straw man.
You cannot. You have to be.
Scarecrow.
You have to be conscientious with who you tell that information to. And your buddy from work, I've had lots of friends at my jobs that I was like, me and this person are going to ride and die for literally forever. And guess what? I don't even remember their names. Like.
Yep. So, I'm right. Is there any more to that argument? Or.
I don't think that Hurley was obligated to tell this dude.
Well, you
and Hurley was like deeply hurt by the fact that he had hurt his friend. You know why? Because he's a good, decent person.
Yeah.
He's not being malicious, and his friend needs to shut the fuck up.
At no point did I say or suggest that I should walk up to a stranger and say, "I just won $189 million."
A stranger.
You said, "Hi, how you doing? I just won $189 million."
Okay, well. I set that situation up as in like you'd go tell your buddies at work. I didn't mean like the literal actual stranger.
If I quit my job, it's like what you're trying to do is you're trying to take telling people about the lottery and separate it from what happened in the show. You're trying to, but I'm not going to let you. So like you have to understand, y'all, debate's like a sport for me. And that's how she can win this debate, but she's not going to because I'm not going to let it be separate. It's here. Okay? So, this dude, not knowing that Hurley is a millionaire, okay? Mm-hmm. Quit his job with him.
Didn't have to.
Quit his job with him. Doesn't matter.
Didn't have to. It's a chicken restaurant.
The point
he didn't care that much,
obviously.
The point is,
he did. He did. You're right.
You think if Homeboy was
even better, he didn't have to.
Do you think if Homeboy was up for a promotion or something like cool or important?
Thanks for making my point. He didn't have to. He did because he's a good person. And so Hurley could have told him while they were running around, "It's going to be okay, dude." Like,
I don't think him quitting his job makes him a good person. I think it just makes him like he's a real, one of those kind of loosey-goosey dudes. He hates that fucking job. You can get a fast food job literally all day, every day. I could go I guarantee you tomorrow, if I walked into McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell, I could get all 3 jobs that day.
Okay, so your argument then hinges on thinking that he's just some kind of acquaintance and not a guy that Hurley really likes, who's good friends with.
Yeah, they're buddies.
Barbara?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't tell Barbara. You quit your job. Barbara quits with you in solidarity.
Well, that's different.
No, it isn't. You're just assuming that it's different. Barbara is Morgan's like best friend who she worked in retail with.
Yes.
So she's got Many best friends.
Yes,
but
I do.
One of them, who she worked in retail with,
she's like my sister.
If you had quit your job,
and Barbara,
and Barbara said, just turned around right after you and said, "Fuck you too," right, and walked out with you, and you had won the lottery. I'd be like,
"Listen, B,
I got you. I got you, right? I got you, right?" And you know why? Because solidarity, I love her. Right? Now, he did that. You don't think he has the right to feel a little negative that Hurley didn't share with him?
He didn't even give Hurley 24 hours. Like, give me some time.
How much time do you need when Barbara quits her job for you? How much time do you need? Exactly. And she's grinning. That's my favorite one. When she makes that face, is because she knows I've just made an excellent point.
But is that smart of me? Is it smart of me?
Are we shooting for smart or kind? Those two things are different sometimes. Ooh, face. All right.
Whatever. Anyway.
This is how all these discussions go in our house. I thought Hurley should have told him, and I mean, what's the harm, really?
I mean, there could be quite a bit of harm.
Or there could be like a lifelong special moment between two people who are really good friends. Hey man, I haven't told anybody, but I really appreciate you like riding or dying for me, and my mom's at home calling me fat and saying that Jesus is asking what color car I want. You're the only person that's being any kind of decent to me. Let me tell you this awesome thing that happened.
Well, you know.
Hey, thanks for like caring and coming with me. Like
maybe I suck for this, but I think that like walking out of a fast food job is no big deal.
Maybe if that's the best kind of job you can get.
But you can get it anywhere.
Maybe not. If you literally quit your job and walk out, you know, all things are not equal everywhere. Like, and also it's 2004, not 2024, where everybody's criminally understaffed all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I've had many serving jobs, and there was one of them. That's the only job that I ever just no call, no showed. I just did not show up ever again. They never heard from me. I bet they think I died. I don't know, but they brought it on themselves. They were incredibly. The manager was she brought me in front of everybody. She called like all the servers in from the floor, and my shirt was wrinkly, and this was it wasn't even a nice restaurant. It was Red Lobster, okay? And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. It was Red Lobster, and the like thing was we were supposed to have our shirts ironed, and at the time I was in college and I did not have time to iron my shirt before my shift, so I came in with a wrinkly shirt. And she pulled everybody into the kitchen and like literally stood me out like a freaking puppet and was like, "You see this? This is what you don't want to do." And I finished my shift and disappeared, and they never saw me ever again. But like right after that, I got a job at Cracker Barrel. Walked in, got the job immediately. Like, you know, it's not difficult.
So it's not difficult. That means that it wasn't like a nice, kind thing for him to do with Hurley.
Yeah, I don't think maybe I'm explaining my point well on it. But yeah, it was very kind. It was a very kind.
The thing about my point is that I don't have to move my goalpost to make a better point. You keep having to move your goalpost and change your argument.
I'm not moving my goalposts. And you had a job where you quit, and then a whole bunch of people quit.
Yeah.
And they were like...
I didn't walk right out, though. I did walk 2 weeks' notice.
They may well have had pins that said, like, "We Heart Joe." Like, They were really open about...
They wrote it. A bunch of them wrote it in their 2 weeks' notice letters.
Yeah.
So I was the manager there. To be fair, yes. I wasn't just an employee. I was the manager.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of people who worked with me there when I was the manager left and wrote in their 2 weeks' notices that it was because I was leaving. So
yeah, it was a real, you know.
I was not a Randy at that time.
You've never been a Randy.
Yeah,
Randy.
Not as bad as Randy. When I was younger, there were some rougher times when I was a little younger. But, all right. So, yeah, Johnny is the name of his friend, by the way.
That's right.
His buddy.
Yeah. Good dude, good friend. I don't think that Hurley was obligated to tell him with something like that. I don't know. I just don't know that you're obligated to share that information immediately.
Yeah, you obligated, like, no, there's not a law and you're not going to die if you don't. Okay?
I mean, like, morally obligated.
I mean, I'm, like, not morally obligated to help an old woman cross a road or whatever, right? But if I can and I'm there, do you think I should?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Like, I think it's embarrassing how hard you're having to work to, like...
You're embarrassing.
It's a little rough instead of you just saying, like, okay, he should have told him. Like,
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do think so. Because if it was Barbara, you'd think so.
Well, that's different.
It isn't different, and you don't know that it's different. Also, put the shoe on the other foot. Imagine that it happens to Barbara and you quit in solidarity. Mm. And she doesn't tell you.
Immediately.
You're throwing trust and loyalty at her, and she can't even mention that to you? She can't even hint that it happened? My goodness. She don't give a shit about you. I'll tell you that. Like, that is an important thing, and she just couldn't even mention it. Couldn't bring herself to whisper about it.
Maybe she literally couldn't, you know? Who knows? Anyway, what's the next point? We've beat this one to death.
So the crew, Jack and Locke and Saeed and Kate, the main characters, have put themselves in charge of the hatch. Mm-hmm. And haven't told the rest of the survivors.
Yep.
Thoughts?
I think it sucks, but I get it.
Yeah, I think in my notes, and I didn't take many, wrote the thing about Randy, and my other note was, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Which is like...
Well, I mean, but that's been the thing the whole time. And that's what happens when somebody steps up to the plate and, like, establishes, you know, some dominance.
Okay, but...
Good luck overthrowing that.
On the beach and in the cave, equal footing. Everybody's in the same situation. Mm-hmm. Okay? Jack told everybody about the caves. Tried to bring everybody to the caves. Mm-hmm. Now he's literally indoors with air conditioning.
Yeah, and
beds and a shower and food.
Yeah, and there's not enough room for everybody. And... You know.
Oh, there's enough room for everybody. There's just not enough room for everybody, like, in beds and stuff. But there's enough room for people to be out of the rain.
Yeah.
Like...
I get what they're going for. They're trying to, like, make it so that it's not just, like, complete pandemonium, like, opening the doors of Walmart at, you know, on Black Friday at 5 a.m., like, 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. People used to literally trample each other. Do you think that these people on this beach... Their first semblance of, like, safety and, like, normalcy, they're going to lose their fucking minds. So they have got to get it together here, I guess, before they tell everybody. Would I do it that way? Probably not. Probably not. But...
Well, I just think that's down to whether or not you think the people that are stranded here are... naturally inclined to be...
Trusting of authority?
No. Whether... it's like... And the philosophical debate is between John Locke, and Thomas Hobbes. So it's like, do you think that people are naturally evil and they have to be governed in, like, an authoritarian way, otherwise they will misbehave and murder each other all the time? Or... do you think people generally can be cooperative and should be trusted to be cooperative?
Well, I don't think that being evil and being self-serving are necessarily the same thing. And I think that in a situation like this, everybody is going to be looking out for their own comfort, their own they've been on a beach and in a cave for a month.
Together.
Yes. And they're going to be in this air-conditioned concrete hole, too.
But what makes you think that they won't have cooperated enough at this time to hear about this and just help each other get there?
Oh, I'm sure that they would, but I think the real problem would be the pantry. I really do. I think that's where shit would fall completely apart. But
Hurley, which we didn't say it out loud, but Hurley literally makes the point when he decides to share the food out.
Oh, yeah, we forgot completely to mention that, yeah.
Hurley shares the food out.
Yeah, because Jack's like, you're in charge, dude. You do what you want. So he just hands it all out, and it's like a very kumbaya.
But why does he do that?
To keep the pandemonium at bay.
Well, he eventually decides, logistically, after doing the inventory,
there's not enough. Yeah.
So just have a feast. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've made it this long without those luxuries, so obviously, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did that the right way.
Yeah, it was smart.
Yeah. I'm with it.
After he tried to blow it up with dynamite.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, just was curious about that, and I think that I don't love the authoritarian tendencies because I can kind of understand it, but at this point, it is a game changer to have a place that's truly indoors. Mm-hmm. It's you're kind of being a dick here.
I agree.
Can you not explore the innards of this place while your friends are out of the sun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the elements and stuff. I completely get it. Now, you want to talk about being pissed off? I'd be pissed off. If the people in charge are in that hole more than one day while I'm out roasting on the beach and getting moldy in the cave and all that, I'm pissed. That is information that should be shared immediately.
All right. Well, we are approaching an hour, so let's get your prediction for the next episode,
which is called.
It is called "And Found."
Lost and Found. Clever.
Yeah, and it is a. It's a Jen and Son episode.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, there's going to be some effort to reunite the tail people with our people.
Yep. I mean,
I don't know if they'll make it to each other in this episode because we've got, 100 episodes left? They got to stretch this storyline out. So, there's going to be some effort to get back together.
15. All right, so there's that. And now I want to get to our favorite part of our podcast, which is Messages in a Bottle.
And we had a lot. We had a lot of messages.
So this one is from, again, Greg's page, which is Lost, Disproving the Unanswered Questions Myth. And so we posted our orientation episode last week, 1 week ago today. And I just captioned it. We love the video format. So Kira, we're calling her Kira.
Kira,
we love it too. Watching now, by the way. Thanks for all the mentions. Also, it's pronounced Kira. Don't worry, many get it not quite right. I said we will certainly get it right going forward.
Our oldest daughter has a name
that
I'm sure that many people will mispronounce, in her whole life. Absolutely. And our youngest daughter too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna jack her name up forever, and that's sorry.
So Josh Coveney says he's got one of those right
guys.
Me hearing Joe talk about being saved by Morgan like a character on Lost. I said not at all an exaggeration. Didn't want to bum everybody out with the full story, but I was certainly lost.
Yeah.
He said it sounded very genuine. I said, did you read this?
Yes, and you don't have to read it. Let's just talk about what our friends are saying.
Listen, it came up, right? So we're the podcast, man. So this is that was nice of you to say, Josh.
Yes.
And that really just kind of came. I can't even remember exactly how that came up, but again, without telling like the whole story, I was a much more kind of like bitter, embattled kind of person before. So,
what was that like? Is that a lost thing? Embattled?
No, like just it felt like every part of my life was just a fight. Like,
okay.
Just felt like everything was always a struggle and a fight, and so we were actually sitting here earlier while our daughter was still awake and scrolling through posts like on Instagram, and there was something about how you can tell when people are really happy in their marriages because they just kind of fold into it and disappear a little bit. We definitely do. Other than this podcast, there is an awful lot of just coming home and crashing. We went out, had some people from work take us out last night, and it was really nice. But we just don't get out that much anymore. As we just talk about going out and then end up like, we're those people who, when plans get canceled, we're just like, whew.
Yeah, we're like, darn.
Dang it.
Yeah.
So Greg wrote a pretty sizable one.
Yes, he did.
With a bunch of cool stuff in it. So glad you picked up on Aaron being born the exact moment that Boone died.
Yes, I meant to mention that because
it was in one of the lost episodes that the volume was done.
Oh. Do you want me to read it? Is it going to bother your throat to...
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Which was sadly lost to the audio podcast with sound issue. Almost nothing on Lost happens by chance. I may have missed you guys picking up on this in my note-taking when watching your podcast, but the other 48 days, 4 and 8, also not a coincidence.
Just, it's like literally every number in this show, like,
pay attention.
Of substance.
Well, one of the things is that...
It's like a conspiracy theory, like 12 minus 8 plus 2 divided by 9. Like,
oh, man.
Come on.
That's like, without getting into the nitty-gritty of it, it's like all this CEO stuff.
It is. That's what I'm talking about. Like, the end of the world's going to happen on, the Bible says, whatever, and it's all this, like, convoluted math. Is that what I'm going to have to do for this whole show?
Yeah.
God.
Morgan, I have to say, you are really great at storytelling.
Thank you.
You call it paraphrasing, but it's more than that. You comprehend things so efficiently and then communicate it well. On my first watch, I was so, pun intended, disoriented watching Lost that I couldn't make proper sense of it. By the way, I wasn't throwing shade at Kira in the previous post. I shamefully actually am in triple digits for watching.
Meaning like you've watched this like 300 times?
It's been a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
Oh, the glint in Joe's eyes when Morgan correctly stated there's no therapist. He knows why.
Fantastic. I would love for there to be like some sort of explanation for that, because like, what are the mother-loving odds, you know?
Okay. Man, it's murder. We've got to get through this. And finally, this is me hearing thank you. What did we got? What's the word for that emoji? It's like the tearful.
Yeah,
but there's genuinely no need. What you're doing here is keeping the Lost flame alive. Is so cool. And one thing I've never done is watched even a single episode of Lost with someone else. So in a way, this feels like that.
Oh, how fun!
It does feel like that. That's what it feels like for us
too.
Keep up the great work and the Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh yeah, let's see. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and Matt Lewis just added good insight as a comment, but every comment gets read. So, listen, thank you all for watching and contributing. And it does feel like I love this little community. It does feel like I am watching it with the people who comment underneath. And I lose track of stuff that we say in this episode. So
yeah, I mean, we've been talking for literally 59 minutes, just running our little mouths. So, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, we are going to end here because I'm excited to go watch another episode.
Yay! We finally get to watch another one!
Yeah, and so I guess if that's that, we will see you in another life.
Brother?
Brother!